To 100% Wario Land Shake It, I'm gonna have to dive into the Shake Dimension in order to rescue the princess. Wait. I forgot, this isn't a Mario game. To 100% Wario Land Shake It and get the ultimate treasure, which is a bottomless sack of money, I'll need to learn Wario's untraditional platforming methods, which include shaking and slamming, find every single treasure, complete every single stage mission, defeat and triumph over every single area boss, and then take the treasure from the final boss of the game, the Shake King. And also, we can save the princess too. And it all begins with an introduction cutscene of how Wario even ended up in this situation, where in a lovely art museum, a globe exists where a dimension lives inside of it, the Shake Dimension. The bottomless coin sack is mine! With every shake, a fortune in coins bursts forth from its limitless depths. Now both this legendary treasure and a woman, this enchanting young queen, they belong to me! Shake Dimension, tremble before your new king. My beloved queen, don't worry, I will rescue you somehow. But while the rest of the dimension is inside the globe, the outside is the world where we belong and where we come in. Oh yeah! Oh, wait a minute! I forgot the mustache! Wario, a little present from me to you. The real treasure's inside. Enjoy. As Wario stands about to burst open the globe and ruin the treasure and possibly kill everyone, a smoke ends up appearing from the globe, popping out a telescope, as well as that little mini minion guy who's trying to save his princess. And as we grasp this little fella about to kill him, he gives us a sad monologue about how the Shake King has invaded their home, the Shake Dimension, and kidnapped their princess. When all of a sudden, he mentions that he has also stolen the greatest treasure. This immediately gets Wario's attention. What treasure are you talking about? And where it's revealed that it is a magic sack that never runs out of coins no matter how often you shake it. And so with that, our tale begins. With the ultimate goal of getting this treasure, I mean saving the princess, we dive into the world of the Shake Dimension. And this is the moment when I realized that I was not cut out for this game. We spawn into this world and we are given the name of Murphle, the small little minion that we got, and also meeting Captain Syrup. Captain Syrup informs us about the situation where the Shake King has stolen the bottomless coin sack. But we can't immediately go find him. We instead have to actually defeat the bosses of the main 5 continents of this entire game. However, there's a little caveat to doing the stages in this game. At the very end of the stage, you have to exit through which you came, and there's a timer, and if you don't exit, you don't bring any of the money you got. And so we begin the tutorial of Wario Land Shake It. Now this game is pretty similar to a Mario platforming game, except it's also not. You see, Wario isn't like Mario. All right, we're not a flimsy person that can't touch enemies. We're gonna be ramming into them. We're gonna be shaking them, and we're also gonna be completing and finding treasure. We go through the tutorial level where we learn about basic commands like jumping, timing our dash attack with a jump, as well as picking up coin sacks and shaking them with our Wii remote to get the money out. This is my first time ever playing a Wario game, and especially a Wii game, in a while. And as we slowly go through this level and pick up every single coin, as well as killing the enemies and starting to complete our first missions for the very first time, we also learn a couple more tricks involving shaking your controller to make objects move. And this is when I realized that this game is severely more complex than I realized. I went ahead and shook my controller at this moment to kill a golden enemy completing the mission. I also learned how to jump from a high height to get my down slam. And as I went through the level of the game, I ended up completing most of the treasures except for one mission. And here I was thinking it's kind of just like a Mario platformer. Yes, it's more physical, until I got to the very end of trying to escape the match. You see, when you have to escape the stage, you have to parkour back through all of the stages that you went through and all of the rooms you went through. And on this time, we did get it. It took us a while, but we figured it out. However, there was still a mission that I still needed to do, so I had to redo it. It turns out I had to shake the golden enemy to get a whole bunch of coins, but after that, I was able to successfully defeat the first level and 100% the tutorial level after 20 minutes. Oh boy. But finally, with the tutorial being done and 100%, we now have 2% of the stages done, 2% of the treasures done, and 1% of the missions done. Now you might be wondering, Adrian, aren't you uncomfortable in that costume? Yes, I am. Adrian, isn't this game making you move around a lot? Yes, it is. Well then, Adrian, if you're uncomfortable in that costume and you're moving around, how are you also even able to hear the game while moving around so much? Well, that's thanks to today's sponsor, Raycon. Now that the holidays are over, it's a perfect time to start upgrading your gear for the new year. And in my case, I really wanted to start playing more games that got me moving around because I go outside like once a week. And so because of that, I've been using the Raycon Essential Open earbuds, and they are an absolute game changer. I mean, you've been literally seeing me use these the entire video because, like I said, I need to move around for this entire game to work. And overall, this video would not have even been possible without these. And not only are they super lightweight, but like I said, I can move around and I can play games with my full motor range. But hands down, my favorite part about these earbuds is that they actually don't block out everything like traditional earbuds. So not only can I hear myself make bad jokes, but I can also hear my mom when she calls me for dinner. But if you're not like me and you actually go outside or touch grass. This means that you can listen to music or podcasts without losing awareness of your surroundings and maybe not get robbed because you're too busy listening to the Pizza Tower soundtrack. And right now, Raycon is going in with a New Year's sale, so it's like the perfect time to grab them. Raycon has over 3 million customers. They're absolutely affordable, and if for some reason you don't like them, well, then they have a 30-day guarantee. It's a win-win. But yeah, like I said, I've been using these earbuds for the entirety of this video. They're super lightweight. I can hear myself. I can record. I can move around. And this video would just straight up not be possible without them. But whether if you want to play games like me where you move around for some reason, or you want to crush your New Year's goals, maybe start going to the gym, get some fitness in, then you can get a pair of the Raycon Essential Open earbuds at buyraycon.com/AdrianOpen for 20% off. That's right. That's my name. Thank you to Raycon for sponsoring today's video, and thanks to you guys for checking out the sponsor. Raycon has sponsored this channel before, and like I always said, whenever you guys check out the sponsors of my videos, it always helps me out. So just thank you guys, and thank you so much once again to Raycon. And yeah. Let's go back to Wario Land. But now we move forward into Area 1, the Rattle Ruins, where we meet our first stage, the Stone Carving City. This map is a beautiful Aztec temple featuring minor cute little enemies and minor shaking elements. In the beginning of playing this game, I wanted to 100% every single level as I did them, because then it would give me a clear conscious moving forward. And let me tell you, this was a horrible idea. As I previously mentioned, each stage in Wario Land Shake It contains 3 treasures that you need to find throughout the map, typically in like secret locations, as well as 3 missions, and eventually going up to 5, but we're not going to talk about that right now. But the main gameplay loop is making it to the very end of the stage, freeing one of the little furful thingies and trying to escape before the timer runs out. At the very end, if you make it out, you're able to complete the stage, take the money you earned. But like I mentioned, there's missions and treasures for every stage. So if you didn't get any of them or none of them or all of them yet, you typically got to replay them. At least I did, because I've never played this game before. So because of that, I decided to jump back into the game and complete some of the missions they got, such as jumping on 3 Bandoleros heads in a row, or trying to get the time trial, which is try to escape by a specific time limit. And although I will be completely honest, although it does seem really easy, I'm telling you, this took me about 40 minutes, and I was starting to lose my mind, because I'm not gonna lie, I was expecting this to be an easy kids game. Hey, it's a platformer. You're playing as Wario. You're fat, chunky, and can kill things. But I'm telling you, when you get all of the missions done and the treasures, the satisfaction is amazing. Jump. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god, we did it. We got both the challenges in one run. Yes. Oh, we got the money we needed. We got the clock. We got everything done. And with that, we've 100%ed the first stage of the first world of 5 worlds with multiple stages. Oh my god. And now we move into the Whoopsie Desert of Area 1. Now, I'm not going to go specifically into every single mission or every single treasure location. Just keep in mind that I do suffer for like an additional 20 or 30 minutes behind every single stage trying to get every single thing done. But this stage was awesome. It introduced a brand new idea of bomb blocks. You're able to shake your entire screen, and if you do, you can trigger the bomb blocks. Another feature that this level had is the usage of cannons. You're able to position yourself into these cannons, and along this mission, I found a secret map, which I didn't know what it was. I shook the ground somewhere, and I just picked it up. But I thought really nothing of it, and continued throughout the rest of the stage. I was able to confidently make my way through to the very end until I had my time trial event. And here's where things get rocky. Go, 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 go. Oh no, we're not gonna get the money goal, aren't we? There's treasure up there too. No, no, at least make it for the time goal. At least make it for the time goal. 2 seconds. Got that, yes. Oh my god, the adrenaline, baby. Although we successfully defeated and got the time trial mission done, we still had a whole bunch of other missions and a whole bunch of other treasures. And like I said, I wanted to 100% every level as I did them. And so I went back and I found some of the treasures. I was able to try and, try the missions, but it wasn't until several, and I mean several more tries until I was finally successful in 100%ing the area. It was so bad to the point where I just took off the mustache because it was just making me so angry at this game. But finally, with the second stage cleared of Area 1, we move on to the third stage. But this time with a completely different mentality, a more defeated, a little bit more glum Adrian. We enter the Foul Waterfalls, but this time with 4 missions. And it was at this moment in time where I had to roll up the sleeves and be honest with myself. Do I really want 100% every level as I do them? And the answer was no. You see, every single level in this game is actually relatively unique. They're not just noticed, hey, this is all of a desert level. Hey, this is all an ocean level. Every level actually has a unique gimmick. Right now, in the first area of the game, they're not really as present because they're just more so introducing all of the different parts about the game, such as ropes or shaking elements. But notice how in some rooms you have to actually like kind of do a puzzle in order to do something. Like this room right here, I needed to actually throw one of those little bandoliers into the rock to get across, but I thought I had to parkour across them. So I decided to leave that room and circle back in a later run when I'm much more knowledgeable and also when I actually know what to do in the level. So I decided to adopt the philosophy. I will play the stage several times and then at the very end, I will circle back and I will then try all of the missions. But man, oh man, was it hard looking at all these treasures passing by, all of these missions I'm failing. But I knew that for the greater good, I would have to revisit this. Like the Avatar, when I master all of the elements, I can go back and actually learn firebending when I'm supposed to. And so we finish Foul Waterfalls with none of the missions completed and barely any of the treasures gotten. We entered the fourth stage of Area 1, the Rundown Pyramid. This stage introduces carts, which move according to your Wii remote. Now, initially, that's really cool until you realize that it's really janky. But regardless, we push on through the stage, figuring out what to do and where to go. This stage was actually not that bad. It introduced kind of like a stairway mechanic where you hit these things and go on the stairs. But I was having a pretty decent time, not knowing that I actually was going to go through hell later on. But this is the start of when I realized that some of these stages are going to be way more tricky than I realized. Stop. Why is he accelerating? Look, he's accelerating when I don't want him to. No, stop! Why is he moving it? But within due time, I was able to reach the end of the stage and exit with only, well, none of the missions complete and 2 treasures. But as I mentioned, we gotta move on. You just have to. And this is where things actually get a little bit interesting. The first boss fight of Wario Land Shake It, where I must retire the mustache to focus on what is going to be happening. And this is where I personally think the game gets super, super interesting. It's actually a boss fight. Is that a transformer? And so we fight the first boss, Rollin' Rattle. And let me tell you, these boss fights are super confusing the first time you do them. But the main gimmick of this boss is that when he smacks down, you're supposed to smack his cheeks without getting stun locked. And I did not understand that for some reason. During the second part of the battle, he starts dropping these like missile little nuke things and you have to dodge them whenever you can. Here's the thing though, you're supposed to jump on these parts of like the little missiles and actually smack them. And I was trying to do some crazy stuff in this fight. I don't even know. We're good. We're good. I may suck at platformers, but I'm good at being Wario. Okay, we got the damage in. If you jump just high enough, the circumference is out of your thing. I am high on polyneuts right now. Okay, he has he got his nipples out. He dropped down. Get up, Adrian. So I think I have to go on his head and smack it. Okay, this is kind of fun. Wait a minute. What? Oh, come on, man. This is a cool boss fight. This feels like a boss fight. It's a little slow, don't get me wrong. Yeah, it's not. Oh, I have to booty smack it. Dude, my neurons are firing like crazy right now. Watch this. Turbo ass attack! It actually worked! Hey, I'll give it to you. That was a pretty fun boss fight. Was there any challenges on that? Because, I don't know if I can do the challenges, man. And with that, we've successfully defeated the first boss of the first area, the Rollin' Rattle. But it's no time to celebrate because we make our way to the next area. Area 2, the Wiggly Wilds. I was feeling pretty good. We defeated our boss. You know, we didn't know the mechanics at first, but it's about the learning, right? It's about the learning sensation that makes it all worthwhile. But in the first stage of Area 2, this is where things get a little bit more physically uncomfortable. This is so goofy. You got to do it like this because you got to hold the other button to move. This area introduces what I call the gymnast special. Swinging your Wii remote side to side or up and down to try and fly up into the air, which at first was pretty fun. I'm not gonna lie, I really like this part about the game. But let me tell you, when you're going for the 100%, this part sucks. Anyway, during this part of the game, I was able to get a little bit of the treasure and I was taking some damage, right? But we were able to get to the very end of the game, hit our checkpoint, and start making our way to the exit. This is where the perfectionism and the confidence in me really overtook me for the worst. The money! Can I retry it? Can I just retry? I want to at least get the fast part of it. Can I at least one mission done? Don't let me get 100% completion in this game with 10% of the missions done. I ended up finding out that the checkpoint in the game is actually giving you the ability to retry the stage, but at the time trial. You're not trying the entire stage again. In hindsight, that makes sense, but you know, I'm stupid. With the discovery of this knowledge, I decided, hey, if I can just restart every mission every time, technically speaking, you are guaranteed the time trial mission on your first time doing it, right? Wrong. You see, I was under the assumption that, hey, as long as I do the level enough times with the time trial mission in mind, directly trying to go for it, I will eventually get it, right? No! I think I tried this stage for almost 30 minutes straight, trying to get the time trial and trying to maybe get some of the treasures along the way, but I was unable to do it. Unable to. But Adrian, can't you just move on, try to get the treasure, and then get the time trial? Yes. But no, I did it anyway. This time I was able to get the time trial. But sometimes, and I'm gonna say 80% to 90% of the time, I will not do that. But since I was like, hey, you get the checkpoint anyway, I continued this fiasco for almost 7 hours straight, trying every level to try and just get the time trial without success. But anyway, we move on to one of the more unique stages of the game, the wavy water stage. In this stage, you play as Wario in a little submarine, and unlike the other stages, this doesn't have an exit time travel period. During the submarine section about these games, though, there's something a little bit more interesting, and that is the fact that you gotta wiggle your controller up and down, left to right to try and move your submarine, which at first, it's not that bad, right? It's not that bad. Adrian, you are more interactive with the game. Hey, that's really cool. But there's a small problem, and the problem is the movement, let's just say, rhymes with the word skank. These levels are by far some of the most jankiest stages ever. Sure, during this run, I was able to, not get any missions, but I got all the treasures. And sure, the boss fight was actually relatively simple. You kind of just shoot your missiles at this little red button. Felt really good to do it. But dang, man, when I circled back to that level in the future, oh my goodness, it took forever to 100% it. But anyway, let's move on to our next stage, Mount Lava Lava. Mount Lava Lava was pretty cute until you catch on fire. This stage started introducing boulders, which were typically triggered by bomb blocks, which is really, really cool. But it also introduced these little trebuchet, catapult, cup-looking ballerina dancer thingy. I don't even know what they're called, man. These things were actually really cool. You had to shake your Wii remote to trigger your smash attack for them to come down, and then eventually, within due time, they rise back up. The problem is, though, I didn't know how to use them for some reason. Forgive my incompetence looking back on the past. I was really horrible at these games. You can definitely start to see why I started to opt for the, hey, Adrian, just complete it one time. Just please complete the stage just one time and not worry about anything else, and then worry about the 100%. Because if I had gone into the stage with, hey, let's just 100% every stage as we do it, I would have been here for years. But anyways, even though I botched the escape route with half a heart remaining, I was still able to complete the time trial for this mission, and that's all I wanted to do. Can I make the time? I made the time! Oh my god, by 3 seconds. Oh my shit, ow. Oh yeah, I injured myself during bowling on my birthday. That was pretty fun. But like I said, we're just moving on to the next stage, which is Savannah Valley, where there is a whopping 5 missions. Savannah Valley brought back the beautiful oh-so gymnast pole back into the equation, but with a little bit more of a physical twist. You had to do a bunch of them. You see, you may think that the enemy of this game is the platforming abilities of Wario, or maybe the mustache that I would try to put on every couple of shots. Or maybe it's the fact that this game is so physically exhausting. But no, it is not none of that. It is the pain and mission. It is the pain and spiritual crushing of this game telling you that, hey, you have a couple of missions you haven't done yet. You have a couple of treasures you haven't gotten yet. You want to go circle back and get them? And it is on top of that, that all of these other things combine and collude onto your back, making you feel like you are an utmost failure playing this game. Eventually, I got to the point in the game where I was starting to use these gymnast ballerina rods to try and dodge parkour, or maybe try to get above a platform to try and find treasure. Guess what? I skip it. I don't care anymore. I'm just trying to get to the very end. I'm trying to get to the boss fight. And that's exactly what I did, because I found zero treasure. Zero treasure. And I just ran my way to the very end and got out as soon as possible. No time trial, nothing. I defeated the golden enemy, but that was nothing. I was able to just kill that guy off the bat. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I'm Wario. But finally, I was at the boss stage for the second area, and this was actually one of my favorite boss fights in the entire game. What in the world? You're just a car, man. You're just a car. This is the Hot Roderick fight, where we're in a mini punching vehicle, and this little Hot Roderick fella is shooting out wrenches at us. Our goal is to tilt our car using our Wii remote to bounce the wrenches back at, well, he's a car. Yeah. Now, at first, the controls were really janky, but eventually, you're able to actually hit him with the wrenches, and he'll move back where you can now punch his booty. The problem is when he goes into second phase, and he changes the elevation, and the wheels he throws out are a little bit, well, way more harder to hit. I am dying. That's okay. Oh yeah, move back. Oh, he moved backwards. Jump? Oh my god, he's gonna kill me. I cannot believe we're fighting a Toyota. Oh my god, yes, 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 yes. Oh. All right, last stage. Get him. Yes. What do you got now? Did we win? Yes, we did win. Surprisingly speaking, we actually won. I'm not gonna lie, I did not expect to win that fight. But with that being said, we have unlocked our second boss emblem, and we are now able to move on to Area 3. Before moving on, I wanted to go ahead and just circle back and 100% the first 2 areas, because if I didn't, it would ruin my life. I'm telling you, it would have ruined my sleep, and I know that because it already did the night after. But honestly, I'm not gonna lie. After sitting down for several hours with friends and family, it actually was not as bad as I realized. I realized that the hardest part about actually getting the 100% and all the missions and all the treasures done is knowing how to actually do them. And one of the best parts about the internet is you can actually search things up if you don't know how to do it. So then because of that, I was actually relatively able to kind of 100% these levels, the first 2 worlds, right? The first 2 within a reasonable amount of time. In fact, it only took me about a couple of afternoons to do it. But the best part about doing this is that it made me feel confident to go into Area 3 by myself. But with the first 2 areas done completely 100%ed without the secret maps, we have about a quarter of the game completely 100%ed, kind of. As I just mentioned, there's something called secret maps in this game, which are apparently the hardest levels in the entire game so far. And those levels have not just 5 missions, they have more than that. But as a great physicist once said, just keep swimming. And so we move on to Area 3, the rocking range, and hop into the first stage called the Wreck Train. This stage was a primarily steampunk looking train, and so far we were doing pretty good. I already found a treasure. I was feeling severely more confident compared to before. Unlike my first 2 sessions of playing, now I have an entire session of 100%ing and completing stages by watching the gameplays of other people. I was much more prepared to take on the challenges that World 3 had for me, and thank God that I actually did take the time to learn this game. I was playing much more confidently, much more slow, much more analytical. This stage had the unique gimmick of having these like bouncy things come in, as well as these like fire, smoke, propulsion engines. But after picking up the second treasure of this area, I honestly felt like I might have a chance at liking this game. As I went through trial and erroring how to get this last treasure, when I finally got it, I genuinely felt like this may be my favorite Wii game of all time. And as I got to the end of this stage and I started making my escape route, I started to feel like the costume that I was wearing, it wasn't a Wario costume, but in fact, it was me in the costume. I am becoming Wario. And so we continued the escape route until it started getting back to me. I messed up, and thus my perfectionism came back in. I retried the stage at the checkpoint, and I tried once more to actually try and get some of the missions done. And this was where my downfall started back again. My original plan, nay, the original Adrian plan, was to just go through the stage, try and get a feel and the vibe for it, and then maybe circle back, maybe later when you've had your chances to recoup your eggs and actually try the stage with a clear mind. But no, I started plummeting back down the hole of completing every stage when I possibly can, and I started looking at myself. I started looking back at the screen, wondering why I'm not actually able to do it. I did retry after retry, being unsuccessful until I finally just gave up. I just went for the money mission, collect 50,000 coins, and made my way through and completing the stage with a slight disdain towards the game again. This right here started my downfall once more. It was the moment when I realized that the mask truly did not belong on my face. But regardless, I pushed on and entered the Stone Tooth Cave, where I immediately take damage to an enemy and retried the stage, where I immediately took damage and retried the stage. This part of the game introduced conveyor belts, which were actually really cool. You could hit them and actually make them go in different directions, but it also introduced something interesting. The idea of not breaking a specific thing in the map to get a mission done, and in this case, I broke it. And it also introduced fire. Fire was an interesting mechanic in Wario where you have to bounce more than 3 times for you to get a fire proc in order to break specific blocks. Beginning, this was really easy because, well, as I mentioned, this was the first stage that we actually got it. But later down the line, with harder stages, it becomes an absolute nightmare. But for now in this stage, I was doing pretty good. I was getting the treasure. I got to the very end. Things were looking up for me. That is, until I started restarting over and over and over again. You see, there's something in these games that I haven't really been talking about, and that is, well, Adrian, how do you know where to go? Turns out, as you do more stages in this game, the game gets harder, right? Meaning that there's actually going to be more alternative routes that you can take, including more secret routes to do. And also, sometimes you can't complete every mission in one round. You have to do reruns. And unfortunately, at this point in the game, I was so stubborn that I just had to keep retrying stages over and over again still. You'd think I learned my lesson. You really think. But guess what? I don't do character development on this channel. It's not about that, right? It's about getting mad at a child's game, even though I have a functioning adult brain. But anyway, after countless tries, I was able to at least get the time trial mission done and move on with my life and enter the It's All Mine stage. This stage was actually one of my favorite stages. It had a lot of really kind of intuitive challenges that you could kind of do off the bat, such as this like time trial racing one against the bomb in order to go to the very end and get a treasure. But then I got to this ball throwing puzzle stage where I had to throw a ball and reflect it off the wall to open a door. And I couldn't do it. I mean, yes, I eventually did it, and then I realized that I actually had to ground pound the ground to get a treasure, so I had to do a rerun of the stage later. But after doing a quick little fire puzzle, I felt pretty excited about this stage. I really just kind of felt like I had my flow going, if you know what I'm saying. I was able to get the second treasure of the stage while here, and I even managed to snag the third and final one, giving us all of the treasures in this stage. I finally got to the very end of the stage as well, and after a couple of mess ups, I started getting super duper upset. No, why? But I knew better this time, and I was actually able to successfully escape with the time trial as well as killing the golden enemy mission with all of the treasures. Yes, dare I say, I may think we have gotten our flow back. We now go into the final stage of Area 3, and one of my favorite stages in all of Wario Land Shake It, the Glitter Town stage. This stage, unlike the other ones, had 5 missions, meaning it was going to be already harder off the bat. But oh my god, let me tell you, do I love the aesthetic of this stage. This place was a gambler's dream. Glitter Town had these really cool light platforms where you have to actually like have the light go over a part of the stage for you to figure out where to step on, and I loved it. I loved it so goddamn much. And the best part about it all is that you could gamble. While here, I also wanted to get an achievement as well. In order to detonate 2 bombs, you can actually hit the slot machine twice to get 2 bombs, and they'll just blow up on each other, which is fantastic. But oh my god, I just love this stage so much. I cannot glaze it enough. Not only was like the gambling part about this stage unique inherently, but all of the challenges felt unbelievably fair and intuitive, and I loved it. Close to the very end of the stage is one of my favorite rooms in the entire game as well. It was a bunch of lights that showcase where you have to go on the platforms. I loved it so much, dude. Unfortunately, I was not able to get the time trial on my first time, but I didn't want to let that stop me from just enjoying the map as is. I was able to get one mission, which is detonate 2 bombs simultaneously. I got 1 treasure, and I moved on, because guess what, baby? We got another boss fight. The Chortlebot. Okay, that's actually kind of terrifying. Wait, you're tripping. I have to... How do I fight this guy? What do I do? Oh. Okay, I see. Chortlebot is actually one of my favorite parts about the game, because it reminded me how much I hated this game. That was an exaggeration. I don't hate this game, but this boss fight was definitely super duper hard. The gimmick of this boss fight is that you have to use the ballerina gymnast poles to spin up and smack him enough times, and then hopefully within enough times you can hit his forehead. The problem is though, it's really difficult. Not only are you constantly shaking your Wii remote because you have to get the, the propulsion needed, but you also have to move left and right, meaning you have to keep your fingers on the like D-pad while you're shaking up and down, which is actually a little bit more harder than I realized. But if you're actually able to bounce on the right spot at most times, you're actually able to sneak in a couple more hits than you normally can. Come on, at least one more. Come on! Yes! Oh my god, on half a heart! Dude, did you see the Wario Wombo combo? I put him at the very end. Oh my god, I'm lightheaded. Oh my god, the snot is dripping out of my nose. But with that, the third area has been completed, giving us our 3rd boss medal. And feeling the enthusiasm, the thrill of defeating a boss fight on my first try, I decided to go into area 4, the Jiggle Jungle. And the first stage is the Ropey Jungle, a beautiful jungle. And this stage was actually really fun. It was a lot of ropes, a lot of swinging around, and a new addition to the platforming, a vine wall that you can climb on, as well as another thing, a carnivorous plant that will kind of eat you if you stand in there a little bit too long. The problem is though, I didn't know that you actually had to shake your way out of here, so I kind of stood there for a while taking damage. But this stage was great. I really did enjoy this stage. It was a lot of swinging, making you feel like Tarzan. I get it, life can be hard sometimes. I killed the chug. But so far, I was really enjoying this stage. I got to the very end, and here's where I make the same mistake again. Oh my god. I really do think it's like the inflated ego whenever I defeat a boss that I just do this stupid like charade over and over again. But I swear to god, I spent almost 30 minutes trying and retrying this end stage over and over and over again. Like, I don't even know why I did this. I don't know if I just wanted to get more money or like the time trial done, but it's like ridiculous. I'm watching the footage right now, guys. Like, I'm editing right now. I'm looking at the footage. I keep retrying. Why do I do this? Don't you hate it when Snapchat gives you the context of your personal people's lives in there? Like, hey, recommended you can add your landlord on Snapchat now. Hey, you could add your teacher on Snapchat now. Adrian, why do you have your teacher on phone number? Well, I actually had a good relationship with my teacher, okay? Jokes aside, actually, no jokes aside. I was literally, dude, I've cut out like 10 tries of this stage. This is like my 12th try. I don't know what I was doing. But finally, after I think the 16th try, I was able to successfully get the time trial. I did this stage 16 times to get the time trial. But anyway, we move on to the next part of the game, the Windbreak Bay, a submarine level. This level, like other submarine levels, are pretty tame. Yes, the controls are janky, but dare I say, it was kind of calm. I felt serene. No time trial at the end, only spikes and jellyfish that want to kill you. Oh my god, treasure. Perfect. We got a lanternfish. Beautiful. It looks like a honeycomb. By the way, I should say, when did we find it socially acceptable to start eating honey? Is that not like become? Like, when did we become eaters? The only big problem I had with the stage is that you have to do multiple reruns of it because you have to know whether to go up or down. And sometimes when you're trying to move backwards, the controller just does not listen to you and just does not move backwards. A boss fight with 3 buttons. Surely I should be hitting more. Okay, that's 1 button, baby. Honestly, I'm pretty satisfied with however this mission ends out. We got 2 out of the 3 treasures. We're not gonna get any missions, but that's okay. That's another one. Reverse it back, Wario. Throw it back. You've been throwing it back in the main menu, man. Come on. This level, I don't think I would struggle with that much when I go for the 100%. The bottom mission is just don't take any damage, which is pretty easy. The gold coin one, 10 gold coins in a row. As long as you're willing to be able to take damage, you can collect 10 gold coins in a row. You just have to not kill any of the smaller enemies because then they drop copper coins. With that being done, we move on to the next stage, the Airy Tail Castle, where we are now seeing a lot more missions more frequently. As I mentioned before, the missions are kind of the hardest part about the game. The missions themselves are actually why you have to do multiple reruns of a level sometimes. Even if you 100% or knew what to do for every single level, you would have to go back because some missions directly correlate or interfere with each other. This level in particular introduced the Rocket Cup, a kind of minecart, but it can fly that also triggers or moves along with how you like position your controller, which it's not bad at first, but oh my god, there's a Rocket Cup course at the end of the game and it made my And also, let me tell you my mental state right now. I was solving some puzzles right now, right? Getting some treasure, all the doodad good stuff, right? But at this point in my playthrough, I was going mentally insane. I was starting to delude myself with random situations. Everyone's going to die. We're gonna run out of water. The air is gonna be not breathable anymore. Yeah, like, what am I talking about? I'm probably not even gonna have a family. Time bonus. Beautiful. But yeah, I don't know, man. I'm just rambling. You know, I gotta think about something else before all of these Wario missions ruin my life. And so we move on to the next stage, which I think is my least favorite stage in all of the game right now, the Soggy Bog River. This place had some puzzles that I just could not solve without searching up how to do it, and because this was my first playthrough, I wasn't searching anything up. My pride was as high as a lion. Don't get me wrong, I was able to get like a couple of treasures, but this was actually the first stage that I died on and had to use a potion to heal myself back to full HP. Wait, how do I do this? Oh, I see. Okay, hold on. This is kind of crazy. So look, you go here. Okay, you flip, jump on everything. You flip back. Okay, never mind. I'm not doing it right. You gotta flip and then jump on the top. I'm not doing it right now, man. I'm thinking about capitalism and inflation, not the king. As a concerned American, I'm just worried about the country's future. What if video games are going to be not affordable? Check this out. We don't jump. We go straight. All the flowers here. We just keep running. Just fall down. Keep running. Walk on the water. Jump. Walk on the water. Jump. Oh my god, we jumped. Oh my god. That was crazy. No, wait, I could have won. I could have had it. I shouldn't have done that. Can I still make it? 145? We still made it even with the mess up. Oh my god. And with a slight triumph of Area 4, we make it to the boss, the Bloomsday Blowout, which, in my opinion, is one of the most annoying bosses in this entire game. This boss was an evil sunflower that sucks you in and does a lot of damage. But the main gimmick of this fight is that you have to use its enemies that it throws out to kill it. By using the enemies, you can throw it at the little guy and then smack him around to do some damage. The problem is, though, I wasn't really quite picking up on that sometime soon. But when I did, we started doing some decent damage, which is cool, until you realize that he also has a screen-wide attack using his spikes that I did not know how to dodge. By the way, you just have to jump. Wait, now it's reversed. Now it's reversed! Get up, get up, get up, get up. Okay. A child. Throw. What? Dude, he's actually whooping me. This is the only window I know. Oh, toss it. That was a lucky shot. There we go. I found a window. This is insane. Okay, this phase is relatively manageable. Come on. Yes. Come on. Oh my God, one more. I can do it, I can do it. Come on. He's gonna jump. Jump. Aim it. Please. Yes. Wow. I still don't know how to properly defeat him. That took so long. If you were a child, how would you have figured that out? That's the question I have every single time. If you were a little boy, nay, a little girl, nay, a little, I don't know, stupid. How do you figure that out? This game's skill ceiling blows my mind. All right. Anyway, with that being said, we got a new heart vessel. I got to stock up back on some potions, but at least next episode, we can go into Area 5. But before going into Area 5, I wanted to do something a little bit special. I wanted to give my third and fourth world the same treatment I gave the first and second one. And that is, I went back and started completing as many missions as I possibly can. I wanted to 100% them so that I can go into Area 5 with a clean slate and feel good and prepared, knowing that I've completed every challenge along the way so far, and I didn't feel like a bumbling loser. And believe it or not, I actually did it. After several hours on a specific evening, after having a ton of Indian food and energy drinks, I was able to 100% the third and fourth world after watching several online tutorials and banging my head on the ceiling. And because of that, I was able to go into Area 5 with 53%, 52%, and 30%, and 36% of the stages, treasures, and missions completed all together, giving me a much more confident view of what I can achieve. But now we enter Area 5, the hardest and final area of the game, the Quiver Cliffs. And we start off our venture in Mount Big Hill. Mount Big Hill introduces these like wooden little poles that you can smack to like move around, which is actually pretty cool. But it gets a little bit more complicated when there's more than one wood pole. And dare I say, gets a little bit run breaking. But so far, just off the bat, Area 5 was going out pretty well. I was able to find the first 2 treasures of the map, but it started going downhill during the escape route. So now I'm gonna go down here. I hit this. I go in here. Okay, I need to map out the route of my escape. Okay, so I did not know that would happen. Okay, that was horrible. Apparently walking at turbo speed does that. Okay. I'm gonna try this one more time, see the route. So I think I'm gonna just be jumping and okay. If it doesn't work out, that's fine. We'll just go through and get the gold. Okay, so now we should be able to walk through over here. We can jump. We were supposed to jump up there for the pipe. That's okay. I hate my life. Okay. I'm gonna redo it one more time. It's fine. I'll live with my failure. I'm going to lose my mind. Hey, we couldn't do any of the missions, but at least we got 2 treasures. That's fine. We move on. I have all the time in the world off camera after I play Hightail to redo all the stages. I, in fact, did not have enough time because I was actually going to New York, but hey, check it out. A submarine level, the Creep Blue Sea. At this point in the game, I'm not gonna lie, the submarine levels were kind of my favorite part. They were the most hands down relaxing parts of the game. You see, it's not about the physical, it's not about the challenges, it's not about the missions, it's not about that. It's the fact that this is a kid's game, right? It was really starting to get me at this point. You see, every day when you wake up and you have to put on the most uncomfortable costume known to man, it just does something on your psyche. And guess what? Even on my first time playing this level, I was able to complete a mission that gave me just so much joy and a longing for more submarine levels. It has been a while since the game has made me feel ill about the fact that I actually have to play it. And ooh, the surprising thing about this level is that after like the boss wall explosion bit, there's actually a second part to the map, and the true boss wall was actually this like multi-layered button combination, which was actually way easier than the other ones because they weren't moving, so you could walk up to it and just shoot a bunch of missiles at it. But the Creep Blue Sea was a beautiful break that I just needed to get. It was 1 mission given to me and 2 treasures. I felt ecstatic that I was given a break, and then I went to the next area, the Slipshod Cliffs, man. Oh my god, it's a new ability we can do. So I guess that's the gimmick of this level. Snowball doesn't seem like it has a duration, but we can turn into a snowball and get the treasure. Beautiful. A hot dog. For some reason, I had a weird craving to look at things in a very beautiful way. Does that make any sense? Ready? Oh my gosh, I'm the Ice King. I've had some like random proclivity to just look at and just notice beautiful things. I think it's because I've been watching Avatar, not The Last Airbender, the one where it's like the blue people. And the world and the movie just looks so beautiful. It's stunning, genuinely stunning. And I guess because I'm a city boy, I don't really get to see much nature. Also, I just don't even go outside, but I had this like random craving, like what if I just pack up my bags and move to Nebraska? Somehow during this stage, I was actually able to get all 3 of the treasures without realizing it. It was a Christmas miracle. But despite that, there was a lot of problems. There was a lot of puzzles that I did not know how to solve, but I didn't let that stop me. As soon as I saw the exit checkpoint, I got out of there. I started to realize that I could just severance myself, dude. I could sever my brain. There's an on-camera Adrian and an off-camera Adrian, and my off-camera version would handle all the hard missions. But finally, we move on to the final area of the Quiver Cliffs, the Bad Manor. The Bad Manor had one of my favorite level designs, and this is when I realized that I had to take off the hat because I was sweating way too much in this game. This level had a very unique mechanic of changing your size. Wait, this is really cool. I'm telling you, man, everybody got a gimmick nowadays. But hands down, this was the most confusing stage I've ever done before. Not only was there so many new mechanics being thrown at me, like new enemies, the miniaturization thing, but also a lot of the puzzles and a lot of the doors I couldn't quite figure out. Like, for example, finding a little miniature hole at the end of this hallway, I was like, okay, well, I need to, shrink myself. But sometimes I couldn't find the shrinking in time. And even if I did, there was something that I needed to be full-sized for. And then we go in here. Thanks for the free diamond, sir. And here's the check mark. Okay. We need a time of 150. But luckily for us, the time trial was actually super easy. I was able to actually get it on my first try doing it, or my second try or third try. If you round that down, it's the first try. But now I was super excited because now I could actually defeat the last final boss before I meet the Shake King. And that is the world famous Large Fry. And this boss is hands down the hardest boss in the game. Like actually the hardest boss in the game. Why are we fighting a freaking frying pan? Oh, what is that? What is that? Shake it? I'll shake it. Guess what? You've made a fatal error. Oh! This boss, hands down, is the hardest fight in the game for me. Yes, even harder than the actual final boss of the game. The gimmick of this fight is you're supposed to throw these enemies into its mouth, and after you feed it enough, it shoots out the bomb that you can actually throw back at it for it to eat and then blow up, and it takes damage. Now, at the beginning, it's actually not so bad. Yes, there's a lot of enemies, and maybe these bombs are going around everywhere, and missiles are flying at you, and you're, probably dying, but eventually you're able to, throw enough bombs for it to take enough damage, and you're actually able to just get it into, well, the second phase, and that's where things get a little bit more tricky. Second phase, well, introduces a lot more smacking. In fact, I actually have to use a potion during this part, and not only does it include a lot more smacking, it includes a lot more enemies, and also some freaking Mach 10 zooms, man. Dude, oh my god, I didn't know he was gonna do that. Dude, play Bigger Goliath. Boom, there we go, that's one. Give me a bomb. Oh my. I should be able to just jump up and smack this dude. Oh my god, the bomb. Please. Oh my god, please just get this over with. He's dead. Yes. That was hands down the hardest fight in the game for me. I know I cut out a lot of the footage, but here's the thing. Eventually, we're going to have to do every single boss again. Okay, there's boss clear missions after you beat the game, and they include time trials, and they also include no hitting, and but now we unlock the final level of the game on the Shakedown Schooner. Using the power of all of the Pikmin we have collected, we can finally open the gate to take down and face the Shake King himself. And oh my god, I was not ready. In the darkness, the Shake King. I admit you have aura. I admit you look cool, but I, with the 5 emblems of the bosses, I will take you down. Are we just gonna fight? Oh my gosh! He knows magic! What do I do? What do I do? Okay, we're playing Ole. I jump. Okay, I don't jump. Oh. This is an actual boss fight. We're shaking him for money! Oh my god, wait, this is amazing. Okay, that's first phase. Second phase, fire. Okay, I was about to say, that's easy. That's not easy, he smacked me. Get up, Johnny, get my money! My HP! No, get up! Wario, get up! Oh my god! Oh my god, I got him, I baited him! No, he got up! He shouldn't have, he grabbed me! He's jumping up, new attack. Whoa! I had to use a potion. Second phase. Whoa. Okay. Okay. All good. We jump up. This is light work. I come from a Kirby background. We fight gods in Kirby. Come on, do something. Dude, that is... No. This is so easy. Come on, I've seen better. I fought Karl Marx in Kirby. You have nothing. Get up! Woo! I jump up during that phase. Okay, it seems like I've already memorized every single one of his attacks. I played Elden Ring. Boom. What? What? Half a heart is left, but don't die. I have a potion. All right, I have all my HP, and he's one hit. Surely I don't lose. Oh my God, finally. 3, 4, 5. Shake him. He bounced off of me. He's intelligent. Dude. 3, 5. Please. No. Pick him. Shake him. Throw him. How is he still alive? I've shaken him so many times. Why is it when you shake me, I take all of my HP? It's just... Oh. What? I'm done. I'm done, bro. I'm done. Oh my God. Please. I'm dead. I'm gonna die. I'm actually gonna die. I gotta lock in. He's gonna do the attack. It all matters now. Yes! 4, 5. Just throw him. Wait, what? There's a third phase? Oh my God. There's a third phase. I don't have any HP. Look at that sack. It's the bottomless sack of money. Do I have to pick between the woman or the money? Oh my God. You're kidding me. What? I'm dead. There's no way. You have to hit him several times. You can't. Okay, I'm just gonna throw him straight out now. I don't know why I'm shaking him. What? Okay, Goku. I'm dead. Oh my God, I'm dead. Oh my God, I died. I can't believe I died. Okay. Do I have any potions? I used all of them. I don't know. No, I'm leaving. I didn't even leave. I am bewildered. In fact, I'm enthralled. I'm thrilled. Finally, a challenge. A real challenge. I can do this. Oh, calm down, Adrian. Calm down. It's just a kid's game. This is a kid's game. Oh my God. I can't believe I was like, haha, hee, TT, papa. I should have known. It's the final boss. It's the Shake King. I had a milkshake yesterday and it gave me a tummy ache. Why? He's rocking my world right now. Why am I surprised? By the way, I did go to Wawa and I had the Oreo cheesecake smoothie milkshake thing. It was 1,200 calories, probably 80 grams of sugar. Actually, no, probably like 120 grams of sugar. But my God, was it the most divine thing I've ever put in my mouth and sucked upon. It was delicious. It was amazing. But so far, this part's easy. Grab him, throw him. Next stage. Okay, now that I'm tapped in, there we go. When he's black, you can't do anything. There we go. Oh my God, it's going so much smoother. There we go. Okay, next phase. Okay, I need to lock the crap in. I'm doing it. I'm going to do it. Where's my mustache? I'm doing it. This is for all the marbles. Okay. Okay, the mustache is not working out. He's shooting little orbs at... Dude, this is insane. There's no way I can do this hitless. Please don't be a mission where I have to do a hitless. I got hit. I got touched. Oh my God. Dude, this is a kid's game. A child is playing this and you've made this. That has to be blasphemous. Oh my God, I can. What do I do with that blue orb? Like, it's just a matter of ethics in this man. Oh my God. Dude, look. A child is playing this right now. I'm dead. Right now, hypothetically speaking, a child is playing this game. The energy balls are getting faster. That's amazing. That's so great. I did not. I jumped, bro. The shockwave you... Okay, we're locking in. I'm dead. I'm actually dead. I'm actually going to die. Oh my God. 2 more times. I got hit. I used my potion already. I can't believe it. Okay, come on. What? No. 4, 5. No, you. No. Come with me. That's okay.
That's okay. We still have HP. Okay, we're fine. We're fine. He's gonna do fire now. I've memorized all of your attacks. This is nothing to me. As long as he does not get a grab, we are in tip-top shape. 1, 2, 3. Oh! Yeah! This is a kid's game, and I have conquered it. Get away from me. Get away. Okay, I can't move. Oh my God! Give me a cutscene. Give me my hat. The cutscene. We saved the world, and we can take what is rightfully ours. All of the money that we've made in this dimension is mine. A deal's a deal. Give me the money. Everyone's happy. Everyone's relaxing. We're on a little island in the middle of the ocean. We open the gate. We get the princess, but we don't even want her. We don't even care. We don't. All I want is the money. Are we gonna shake her? Oh my God, Wario the goat! Give me the money. There better be actual money. If I get out and there is no money when I shake this, I'm going to lose my mind. Let's see it. I shake it. Oh my God. It is a happy ending. Oh my, he's so happy. I'm so happy. Amazing. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. Wario Land Shake It. That was great. That was a final boss fight. I'll give it to you. It was hard. It was rough. Please don't make me no-hit it, because I don't think I can do that. And what is happening? I held up my end of the bargain, so I'll be taking this loot with me. Wario, thanks for lending a hand. Be seeing you, handsome. But if it's a bottomless sack of gold, why can't I just have 500k? I was looking for a way to save everyone, and Captain Syrup came along. We agreed she could have the treasure as a consultation fee. Well, that sounds about right. But now, with that being all said and done, we have successfully defeated Wario Land Shake It until we finally get the end game. Yep, there are boss missions in this game, as well as secret maps, as I've mentioned before. And this is where the game really tests you. Oh my God. These missions require you to no-hit every boss, kill them in a specific way, as well as doing a weird challenge. But also, the secret missions that I've been mentioning throughout this entire time, they are actually the hardest missions in the entire game. And with how much I've struggled on every stage so far, with how much pain and sweat and suffering I've already gone to, I was so unbelievably scared to tackle this final part of the game. But hey, I have to remember, this is why we do it, right? We're not playing this game to feel the sense of accomplishment of 100%ing everything. We're playing this game because I decided to accidentally buy the outfit one day, and I was like, okay, let's make it work. Let's just play a Wario game. Let's play this one. This looks easy. Oh my God, it takes 8 hours to 100%. Oh my God, they lied to me. But yes, now we enter the hardest part, the final section of the game, 100%ing every single secret level. I also got to do World 5. I forgot World 5. And also every single boss mission. The final challenge begins now. Now, World 5 was actually not that bad, considering the fact that I actually tried some of the secret levels beforehand, and I hated my life. It was genuinely miserable. I cried at the end. Doing World 5 was actually kind of a breeze. It was super nice. I've already did these levels before, so I was just revisiting them, and I was able to do most of the goals in like one singular run, which was fantastic. One of my favorite levels from World 5 actually kind of is the submarine level now. It was super chill compared to like all of the other levels in the game, especially the boss fight. You can kind of just spam the very end, and I got all of it done. The snow level was actually a little bit more tricky, especially this parkour part, but as soon as I got that, I had all the other goals completed already. Area 5 was just super nice because you can kind of just like hyper fixate on one of the goals you wanted to do and just do the super hard one later on. Like, for example, not killing any enemies, you can kind of just wait for a run where you just do that on its own and just super focus on that. And after doing that enough times, well, what can I say? We've successfully 100%ed World 5. But Adrian, what about the bosses? You said that the bosses were going to be super hard. You had to 100% them. And yeah, they kind of were hard. You had to no-hit them, and you had to kill them in a specific time, as well as avoiding any of the specific things. Like, for example, roll and rattle. You cannot get hit by the ground pounds or else you fail the challenge. However, it was actually way more easier than I thought, like significantly more.
Let's go. The next boss fight was Hot Roderick, where not only do you have to no-hit it and do it in a timely fashion, but also you have to hit every single tire and make sure that it doesn't actually hit you. But honestly, after like literally like 3 tries, I got it like immediately, all missions.
Yes. Oh my God. Let's go. Finally.
But hands down, the hardest fight for me was Chortlebot. This fight, for some reason, was so difficult for me to understand, but I got super lucky on one of my attempts and I was able to get all of the missions done.
Oh, let's go. Let's go.
Bloomsday is the area boss for World 4, and he was a little bit more harder than the other one, simply because like you have to do specific things for his phases, but as soon as you figure them out, it was way more easier to do.
Okay, not all of them done, but I figured out the fight. Thank God, online tutorials. I need the time. I need to do it faster. That's time, baby. Clip it.
And finally, the last boss, which is in Area 5, Large Fry. This guy gave me a whirl when I first tried him. But apparently, I didn't know this. You can defuse bombs by shaking them. I found out way too late. And because of this, I was able to get his challenge done, which is to feed him 2 bombs in a row. But this fight was pretty easy.
What? Yes! Oh my God, my back!
But finally comes the Shake King, which you might think is really, really hard. But actually, it was pretty simple. I already knew all the attacks.
Okay, but how do I do the time? How do I, like, I've spent over way longer to beat this boss.
So it turns out during the Shake King fight, you can actually counter his attack and do way more damage than you normally could. And I figured this out from an online tutorial. Thank you so much.
Dude, that's crazy.
And with both these methods combined, knowing all these patterns and watching online tutorials, I was finally able to defeat Shake King, getting all of the challenges done.
Wait, what? That worked?
And with me believing that the bosses were going to be the hardest challenges in the game, I felt so unbelievably relieved until I had a taste of all of the secret stages. There are 12 secret stages in all of Wario Land Shake It, and if you're wondering why my voice sounds so unbelievably tired, it is because I just came back from successfully completing all of them right now. I just done it, and I'm here to give you my raw, unfiltered thoughts on why this should not be part of the game. It was so hard. The first area I ended up doing is the low down depths. This is a zoomy level primarily with multiple challenges, but most of these were pretty easy. You're going really fast most of the time. The only hard part about doing these routes is that you have to know where to go and like where to find specific items. The best part is if you just know where to go, like I mentioned, it's genuinely not that bad. This was a very easy secret level and one of my favorite secret levels simply because it was so much more simpler than the other ones.
Oh my God.
I found it really effective to just focus on at least like 2 to 3 goals at a time, like trying to group either like getting all of the money or the time being in the one goal, or trying to either like get some of the odd goals out either first, just so you could focus on like what you really want to accomplish in your run. This took me about 5 tries max. It wasn't too bad. The hardest part, like I said, is just figuring out the route.
Oh my God, thank God.
But the next one that I had a couple of trouble with was the lava secret level. Oh my goodness, was this level a doozy the first time I played it. This level has a lot of platforming and a lot of, let's just say, boulders. A lot of this level has you primarily speeding past boulders and racing them to try to get money, and more often than not, I did fail them initially. But hands down, the hardest part about this level is the sheer amount of boulders. At the end of the level, before you hit the checkpoint and go into the zoomy mode, there is a series of boulders that you have to dodge or jump over. Luckily for you guys, you don't have to watch the several torment, the several hours of torment I had to go through to figure out how to actually successfully navigate this area. This was brutal. And on top of that, there was challenges specifically designed for these boulders, like never ever getting touched by a boulder or by bouncing over the boulders 5 times in a row. This level was an absolute nightmare. It was absolutely miserable, but it felt fantastic when I won.
I think I did it. Oh my gosh, thank goodness.
The next secret level was the Spooky McSpooky Temple, which surprisingly I actually got relatively quickly. It took me about, let's say, 10 tries? With this level, for some reason, it just clicked with me really well. I didn't really struggle too hard on it. I specifically focused on the really hard goals initially for me. And then at the very end, all I had to do was just not get hit at all, which is actually not that bad when you actually just memorize the entire map. And I was able to complete that level at a relatively decent amount of time. But then came Gurgle Gurch. Oh my God, Gurgle Gurch. Gurgle Gurch is kind of a ravine barracuda level, if I were to describe it that way. A lot of the challenges in this level revolve around don't touch this. rules. For example, don't touch the fish, or complete the level without touching any silver coins. It was a very don't touch me, no touch likey, you don't touch. But a lot of the things in this level I was relatively familiar with. Like, you've seen a lot of the puzzles before, it's just a little bit more harder because at the end of the game, well, you got to use all your resources. You got to know a lot of more things, right? You got to know when to slide, you got to know when to jump cancel and flip in the opposite direction. But I've already kind of handled that, right? I kind of already knew it. But oh my gosh, at this one part right here, there was a zoomy part where you have to time your jump and then hit your head on the ceiling like twice in a row. This took me, I'm pretty sure, like probably 30 minutes of attempts to even get it right the first time. Oh my god, I wanted to vomit. My first run on this level was absolutely brutal. I only got one mission. I got all the treasures, which is fine, right? That's okay. But it was absolutely demoralizing. But within due time, I saved the hardest mission for me personally, which was the silver coins. Don't touch silver coins. Don't touch anything. Don't touch the ropes. Do nothing. Play super passive. Just be a beta male. And I was finally able to get all of the missions done within about an hour and 20 minutes. But then came one of the hardest secret levels for me personally, the Neon City. Oh my gosh, did I want to rip my hair out doing this level. This level is like that Vegas level that we did earlier. It's really, really cool. There's a lot of lights. You can find a lot of platforms. The problem is now is that there's more of them with less lights and more challenges, which, oh my god. A lot of this level, however, was very, very, really cool, like problem solving. For example, this slot machine, you're supposed to hit a lot of things in them, like the ball, and use the ball to ricochet and hit like the stairs, which is actually super cool. And then you can even use like ice to get this like treasure behind the door. I really, really like that aspect. What I didn't like was the amount of invisible platforms in the final room. At the very end, you're supposed to, as you know, you take the angel, you free him, and you go escape. The problem is though, okay, there's a small problem. You don't know where you're going sometimes. And for example, for one of the goals where you need to get a lot of money, you need to get this diamond that's behind a wall. Guess what? To get there, there's invisible platforms and fountains, and the fountains are timed at regular intervals. But how are you supposed to time them if you can't see where you're going? Another notable part about this level is that at the very end, before you actually go into your, escape pod, you have to hit the slot machine a couple of times, 3 or 4 times. And this was the hardest slot machine to get right. I actually got unbelievably lucky and got all of the money I needed successfully in a row without any like taking damage at all. Blew my mind. I don't know how I did it, but with that, I was able to get the most hardest challenges out of the way, which is specifically getting a lot of money and getting out of this level without taking a hit. I wanted to vomit for that. But eventually with, enough runs, I was able to, retry over and over again to get the time trial and finally finish that level. And then we move on to the train secret level. Oh my god. This train secret level had a little special gimmick in the fact that not only is it much more industrialized with a little bit more puzzles and a lot more fire, but also there's wind, a lot of wind, enough to like really damper your movement. The problem with this level specifically that I really, really struggled with is that a lot of the challenges directly interfered with each other. So for example, there's a lot of wind, right? You got to get to places, right? You got to find everything, got to find money, but it has one of the hardest challenges in the game, which is you cannot kill any enemies. And in a place where movement is much more limited and you need to get everything that you need, it was so hard trying to actually pick out which goals were more effective at which ones to bunch up. The level before the zoomy zoom was actually not that bad. A lot of the treasure puzzles were rather intuitive, dare I say. The zoom part about the level was actually really, really fun. It was really confusing at first because you have to figure out where you want to go and like the route you want to take. However, when it clicks so well and you're able to just spam this part whenever you're like retrying for either the time trial or whatnot. And eventually within due time, I had the 100% of this level after I'd say maybe like 40 minutes. So it wasn't that bad. But before we get into the final couple levels of secret levels, I want to showcase you the hardest level of all of every level in Wario Land Shake It, and that is the Launchpad Labyrinth. The Launchpad Labyrinth not only had a bunch of secret level missions as normal, but it was primarily a rocket level. It was a rocket level, and with the amount of jank that the Wii Remote has on this game, this was the hardest level ever in Wario Land Shake It. I simply could not fathom ever completing this level at all. I was losing my mind. And on top of that, not only are the missions like, hey, you gotta really do this level really quickly, hey, you can't get touched a single time, but there's also more. There's treasures you have to find. This was hands down the most miserable stage I have ever played in my life. Dude, what the Dude, there's no way I can do this stage. Dude. Oh my god, bro. So yeah, I'm going to revisit that stage because that deserves its own honorable mention for being the hardest section of the entire game. But the other secret stages, not so bad. We have a couple left. Okay, we have River Bloat Rapids, not so bad at all. It's like a primarily like water plant-based stage. It was not bad, like at all. It was the one mission I struggled on was like not touching the water, but like that was the last mission I did. I just focused on that one and it took me about 30 minutes. It was not so bad. The next one is the ice secret stage, which I'm not gonna lie, was not that bad. I actually loved this stage. It was super cool. It was very, very, very dynamic in terms of ice puzzles. A lot of shaking, a lot of like unique challenges like jump on 3 penguins' heads, which it was actually not so bad. My least favorite challenge is the one where you just don't kill any enemies, and this one did not have that. I genuinely really thoroughly enjoyed this stage, and I got a really good time trial run as well. I hate this game. I hate this game. I hate this game. I hate this game. I hate this. This stage, I would say, took me about 45 minutes. It wasn't so bad. The hardest part about this stage was just figuring out where to go and how to solve the puzzles. But eventually, I got all of the marks, and hands down, one of my favorite secret stages of all time. Beautiful. Boogie Mansion is also one of my favorite secret stages. We're leaving off on a positive note, okay? This stage had a very unique thing of having like mimic chests, which I've never seen before, and the only way to open them up is like to throw bombs at them to get the treasure from inside. This level also had my favorite mechanic in the game, which is like miniaturization, where Wario can go super small and like do a lot of weird stuff. I loved the amount of alternate routes that this stage had. It was fantastic. I hated doing them, but after about 50 minutes of doing them, it was genuinely fantastic. I loved this stage as well. Hands down, super good. Also, I kind of just knew what to do because at this point I was just like, okay, I'm gonna watch guides on like how to do this stuff because I'm losing my mind. 130? No way. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. A little quick mention, Bamboozle Village, the secret stage, was fantastic as well. I struggled a lot on this stage. I think this stage took me about an hour and a half. A lot of like weird puzzles and a lot of weird challenges, but at the very end when you have the route planned out in your head, it was smooth sailing from there. I got this relatively quick, probably about, okay, maybe like an hour and a half, but it wasn't that bad. Those were my favorite and like iffy secret stages. These last two are my least favorite. Number one, Prism Prison. This level had the rocket things, which I can't do it, man. I don't know what they were thinking. Like kids, there's no way kids have fun with this, right? There isn't. This level took me forever, man. Oh my goodness. I would argue that the challenges here were like relatively simple, but it's like the stage itself, right? It's not about how weird the challenges are sometimes. It's sometimes just how well do the challenges synchronize with the stage, right? How hard is it for me to not take any damage on a Wii motion controlled booster cup that can actually be really janky? And also, how weird is the stage in terms of getting damage? This place sucked. I hated this place. I'm sure a lot of people love it. I'm sure a lot of people love it. I'm sure you do, right? But I hated it. I could not do it. I could not fathom liking the stage ever. But now we cannot escape the final stage. The last stage I needed to 100%, which was the launch pad stage, the rocket jump stage. This place, it was hell. This was my 13 freeze, and I simply could not do this stage. I had to do it bit by bit, ever so slowly. So I decided to do with the one that I was going for, like that actually, I don't know how I was doing it properly, and that was the time trial one and taking no HP. Taking no HP was super easy. You're in the little rocket cup, right? And I decided, why not just speed through the level as fast as we can, try to scope out everything and see if we're actually able to get the time. And by some miraculous, I don't even know what divine light and hope, I was able to do it. And now I started chipping away at the small challenges. I'm going to be cutting out so much footage right now, but it was like the flow state that I was in to be able to be slightly moving the controller at like suboptimal speeds was insane. Also, all of the treasure locations in this place was so confusing. There was no way that you could like, I've seen videos. I've seen videos where people do all of the challenges in one go. I couldn't do it. There was no way. I had to do this by piecemeal, man. I was going crazy, like absolutely insane. Right now it's 3 a.m. I was doing this for 8 hours straight. One more mission. The hardest one yet. The hardest one yet. Oh my god. Oh my god. All I had to do was not get hit. No other missions left. Take it by piecemeal. Do not get hit a single time. Don't break any rocket cups, which gave me a fantastic opportunity and advantage. I just don't have to do anything. Just survive. Just focus. Just make it through. And finally, I did. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. We had done it. 100% stages, 100% treasures, 100% missions. We had finally 100%ed Wario Land Shake It. After I don't even know how many hours. I'm going to be straight up with you. I thought it was going to take 10 hours max. This has been a 40 to 50 hour plus journey, but this game is fantastic. I would have never expected this level of depth and skill ceiling from such an old game. This is one of my favorite Wii games of all time now. I love this game. Despite its challenge and the misery that I went through, I believe it was all worth it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys have been enjoying the 100% videos, make sure to check out the playlist where all of them are there. I try to play as many hard games as possible, as well as some silly games. I thought this was going to be a silly game, but I now hate my life. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. And yeah, it's been Adrian, guys.